Oh, what's good, everybody? Back with another banger. All right, so today I took, or I'm totally not even in the right headspace, but today we're gonna go over MMXM review. We're gonna go over chart review, see kind of what happened today and where we could have positioned ourselves accordingly, and what we could have done better and how we could improve. But today, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get back to some examples because I didn't have any time. I ran out of time. I'm sorry, y'all. Hopefully, y'all can forgive me. But tomorrow, I definitely we'll do one Saturday. Saturday, or I'm moving Saturday, so it kind of depends. I don't know if I'll be able to have one this weekend, but I hopefully y'all can just give me some grace. And I don't know if you guys really care that much either, so it's not that big of a deal because we're kind of on the same page here. But anyways, let's kind of go over the charts. Let's kind of go over the charts. What happened and what could we done better today? So if we look at the charts, just when market opened, or just when we were about to open pre-market, because we had red folder news at 8:30 and we had red folder news at 10. And honestly, I was very disappointed in the 10 a.m. news. The 10 a.m. news did not do anything, and that's just something to note because it wasn't as high quality, but it still was red folder. Like if you showed me that the pending home sales, we had pending home sales at 10 a.m. that didn't do anything at all. But more important things such as advanced GDP and unemployment claims, those are going to do things to the market. But pending home sales literally drove zero volatility. I don't know. I think it might have done a little bit, but other than that, like pending home sales did not do anything, and I'll show you guys. But tomorrow we have CPI at 8:30, and then we have consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. Consumer sentiment will do something. I'm pretty sure. Consumer sentiment will, but pending home sales is. I don't even know if you can consider this red folder, but yeah, we have CPE, and then we have 10 a.m. news tomorrow. So we have 8:30 and 10 a.m. news today. So what did news do, and what happened today? So if we revert back to yesterday's that day when we had the SMT at the highs. I think it was actually up here. We had SMT at the highs up here, and we were rejecting off the higher time frame. Anytime we shift order flow, what has to happen? What has to happen for us to ideally switch order flow? SMT and then us reversing from a higher time frame PD array. We had an SMT and we were reversing from a higher time frame daily for value gap. That's why we reversed. So reverse order flow. Right now, order flow is bearish. Order flow is bearish. If you look into this, there actually was a model at the 8:30 a.m. news, and I'm not telling you guys to trade red folder news, but red folder news isn't gonna do something like particular. Like we're still gonna get pushed to the draw. We're just manipulating traders, and then we have a very very small SMT. Like we barely don't take this high, so you can't really see it, but this is an SMT at the highs. We have all this low resistance liquidity. That news driver pushes us up, stops out trader. We form an SMT, and like I'm not gonna advise to trade red folder news, but like red folder news, you like if you know what the draw on liquidity is, like that news is still just gonna push us to the already existing draw on liquidity. If that makes sense, hopefully it does. Wife beaters suck, crazy. I know I don't like wearing wife beaters, but I wore a wife beater because I went on a run today and I kind of wanted to like get I want to run outside. Like I copped a Camelback to do that, and I feel amazing after doing that. And because I hadn't been on my stuff, like I haven't been on my grind, and like I haven't ran in a minute. So then I finally ran, and I feel great. But yeah, I'm wearing a wife beater. I'm very sorry. I apologize. I don't really like wearing wife beaters. I don't know why, but I'm at my house, chilling. Enough. Let's get into the charts. But basically, SMT at the highs that just push us to the already existing draw at 8:30. And then this is when things get interesting. The market opens up at 9:30. This is when market pushes or opens up. And if we look at NQ, I'm expecting at this time to return to this original consolidation right here. But again, what reframes a reversal? What conditions do we need from a reversal? A higher time frame PD array and an SMT. If we see here, we're coming within a higher time frame PD array, such as this fair value gap, such as this order block, and then we have an SMT at lows, so that frames a reversal. So if we zoom in to the structure where we reversed from, we had an SMT at the lows, and we were in a higher time frame PD array. This is then when you can look for a market maker model. Love from Pakistan, brother. Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. I like the love and support is just I appreciate it. Like the fact that I got someone from Pakistan in here, that's crazy. That's insane. So we have an original consolidation to then trade away from, to then generate liquidity, to then reverse in an area in which we expect to reject or reverse from. And how do we reverse? Higher time frame PD array, SMT. Keep it simple. And then we're dropping down to our lower time frames, and we're seeing what price is doing here. We have a market structure shift, change in state of delivery here. Now this buy program has been activated. This buy program has been activated, so anything on the left side of the curve should hold up on the right side of the curve. So if we pull out these PD arrays, we didn't really hold this breaker because we were going down here. And then this is actually when the news released. We had 10 a.m. news. Literally did nothing. We got pushed that order block. I would have taken this. Looking back, I didn't end up taking it. I was bullish. I wanted to see this model play out, which I honestly should have taken it. But I did not take it because of that 10 a.m. news. But looking back, it was pending home sales. It wasn't anything crazy. I should just start trusting the model a lot more. But this would have been your bread and butter, nice 950 macro setup, putting your stop at a low here, targeting that original consolidation, and as well as targeting, you can't really see it, but this 1 hour fair value gap. Why does the market move? To hunt the liquidity, to rebalance the inefficiencies and rebalance the equilibrium. That's what we're doing. We're going from internal range liquidity, and then now we've taken internal range liquidity, so now we're going to target external range liquidity. Does that make sense? The market just moved from that 4 hour internal range liquidity, so now our eyes are on external range liquidity, and looking back, this ended up being nice. So internal range liquidity, SMT, that qualifies the reversal. And then let me pull up the highlighter. I'm surprised I haven't pulled it up. But we've gone from internal range liquidity here. We have an SMT at the lows here. And now we're going to go to external range liquidity that rests above these highs. So internal to external, external to internal. That's all we are doing. That's all we are doing. All we do. So if we zoom in, that's when we can really define and look at our market maker models. On the 5 minute, you could have played this on the 5 minute. You would have been fine. 5 minute change in state of delivery. 5 minute fair value gap. Played it here. Stop at the low. Targeting these highs up here. And then you also could have targeted highs up here because we're going from external or internal to external. And then we come in the hourly fair value gap. We get nothing here. We get bought up. We get bought up. And then this is when I see the next trade setup. Hey, appreciate the sub, Cody. Really do. This is then when I see the next setup. We have a 15-minute fair value gap. Order flow is bullish. We're in a buy program. So anything on the left side of the curve should hold up in the right side. 15-minute fair value gap. So then we would be going from internal range liquidity to external range liquidity. And notice how we have these highs up here that we can target as well. And that's exactly what the market ends up doing. Zoom in. Zoom in. We have an SMT confirming that smart money reversal. Standard deviation. You can map it out in time. And there isn't really this could kind of just be a soup entry, but there isn't really an entry offered. And the times in which we have an SMT are the times when probably you won't get filled. And also I do want to point out here is if you just look at the IPTA market cycles, when we're in a consolidation, we can't reverse. We're not able to reverse out of a consolidation. So this now becomes a fake reversal, and then we have the SMT. So this is a fake reversal. This here is not a move lower because we're in a consolidation and we are having bullish order flow. So therefore, we cannot reverse. We cannot reverse. What ends up happening? We have come down, SMT at the lows, respect this order block. Notice how this order block gets respected, and then I kind of just mapped out the standard deviation just to target your terminus. You also have your low resistance liquidity being stacked up. Like this is a very internal market maker buy model. Very zoomed in market maker buy model, but this is still a market maker buy model. What are we doing? What are we doing? We are generating liquidity on or on our way down to a higher time frame PD array, such as this 15-minute imbalance, to then have that smart money reversal, to then have your market structure shift, to then have your, you kind of just had one stage of delivery here, but this would have been your low risk entry, and then we would have got bought up. So there wasn't very too much in offered of low risk entry and such, or first stage and second stage, but it is, the model was still there. And then after that happened, we come back down into this 15-minute fair value gap, and you could have maybe framed a market maker buy model, but I don't really like a market maker buy model here. I don't really like taking anything here. I don't really like anything here, and then market close, and then Microsoft and Google had earnings, so that's why we kind of had this. That's why we had that. You're doing so good. Love your streaming content. I appreciate it. But you look more and more lean. Are you working out? Yeah, I run. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't ran. Usually I run every day, and then I hadn't ran for like 5 days because I was just like kind of grinding, locking in on the charts, and then I don't know. I was kind of just doing one thing. And I was out of my routine. I also was sick, so I decided to go and get a Camelback, and then I got a Camelback, and then I ran outside for the first time, and bro, like I feel amazing. I'm like a little bit sunburnt as well, as you guys can see, but yeah, I appreciate it. And then as what we're looking at right now, we've now gone from internal range to external range. That's what the whole day was. We had those earnings that pushed us to the draw, like earnings and such, I think just push us to the already existing draw. All right, here we now have taken external range liquidity, and now is a time when we're back within this daily fair value gap. And you notice how on NQ at least, like we barely nudged this fair value gap, this daily fair value gap, and then I think we're gonna poke above this, and then we've taken external range liquidity. So right now my eyes are on internal range liquidity if the market shows us that we want to reverse. But right now, if we're still bullish, my eyes are here. If we're holding bullish order flow, my eyes immediately draw to here, because right now we have just taken we have just come in a place of internal range liquidity. We also have taken external range liquidity. So my eyes are on these lows down here. I want to see us come down to these lows. But my eyes are still on here. It depends. I want to see structure to really validate that we do want to go down here. If I don't get that structure, then I'm not going to take anything. But right now, we're in an area to where we come back and we still have not rebalanced the equilibrium. So I would like to see this fair value gap be the draw. And I think that is going to be the draw. But tomorrow, who knows what's going to happen. We had a profile of Monday low of the week. And this could be expansion week, and we could have TGIF. But yeah, basically that's what I'm kind of looking at on ES. We're within this daily fair value gap. I'd like to see, are we going to hold this, or are we going to go higher? If we're showing bullish structure, my eyes are going to be on this daily fair value gap. But if we're still showing bearish structure, if we want to actually reject off of this, my eyes are on lows down here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on ES. It looks a little bit clearer in terms of just easiness for bias. Internal range liquidity, external range liquidity. That's what I'm looking at. So internal range liquidity is met. I'm expecting to see external range liquidity, but we can't. It all depends on what order flow is showing us. Obviously, I'm not going to say, hey, we're just going to go to lows just based off of this. But if we zoom in, let's see. We have completed the market maker buy model on ES. On NQ, it doesn't look like we have. So on NQ, we still have these relative equal highs stacked up here. So I want to see if we want to head up here. And like I was saying kind of earlier throughout the week, I kind of shifted my bias, but now my bias has been reproven. So I don't like that. I mean, I switched. Like beginning of the week, I had a clear defined bias that I want to see this be the draw, and then I want to see first stage to then have your second stage, and then that's what we end up happening. All right. Sorry, I couldn't help that. First stage and second stage. I don't know what that is. It's like, all right, let's get back on track. Second stage was here. And I'm looking to where we have now taken highs to when we can go lower. It all depends on what the overnight session does. So that's what I'm going to look at. Let's look at DXY, because DXY, I'm kind of bullish. If we look at this, like, what is this? Failure swing, failure swing, failure swing, failure swing, low resistance liquidity. We now are in an area in which we expect to reject on the weekly time frames. If we go down to the weekly, within this weekly fair value gap, are we going to dig in to the more premium end of this, or are we going to leave this, sorry, the more discount end of this fair value gap, or are we going to still respect this order block? We zoom in, we have a 4-hour order block, also have a 4-hour fair value gap. I want to see, are we going to respect this? Ideally, if you're bearish on equities, we would like to see a market structure shift to then head up to these highs. So I think that we could get a market structure shift, and let's see what happens on DXY. But yeah, DXY area in which we could be bullish, and then on NQ and ES, an area in which we could reject off of. But I would like to see more confirmation. I want to see how the overnight session does. Right now, we are in bullish order flow. So what could frame a reversal? Higher time frame PD array and then an SMT. So right now, we're in an area in which we can reverse from. Why? We have a higher time frame PD array, and we also do have an SMT at the highs. We're going to see what's going to happen. I'm not going to blindly say that we're going to reverse here. Order flow is bullish right now, so I would expect order flow to remain bullish, unless if we come into a higher time frame PD array and we have an SMT. Right now, we have exactly that. So I want to see what order flow does. Ideally, I want to see market structure shift. We have this huge imbalance here from that earnings. So I want to see what's going to happen. Right now, order flow is bullish. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at, and that's kind of what I'm framing off of. In terms of MMXM reviews, I do have one thing I want to go over. I was watching an ICT video this morning, or not this morning, but this afternoon, and I kind of want to go over this. But basically, this was a market maker model in itself, so I guess we can go over this. But basically, we have a BPR, we have a big imbalance, big news candle. What are we doing? On this whole leg down, we are generating liquidity on this way down. On this move lower, generating liquidity, putting in failure swings. I don't know if there was a smart money reversal here. Let's actually look. Do we have an SMT there? Yeah, we did actually. You had SMT at the highs to then have your first stage, or you would kind of say first stage, and then we didn't really get offered a second stage, and then we come back down to these lows down here. Did we have an SMT at the lows? I kind of doubt it, but we're within that higher time frame PD array. Yeah, no SMT. What do we get here though? Trading view or FX replay is kind of harder to delete stuff. Okay. Kind of going to delete these annotations. I don't really need them. We then have that 1 minute change in state of delivery. And then look at order flow. Order flow shifted bullish. Every down close now candle should now respect price. Come down. Bullish order block respected. Bullish order block respected. Bullish order block respected. And what ICT was kind of saying himself is anytime you have a range in anytime we approach equilibrium of the previous price leg, we're expecting a stop hunt. We're expecting a stop hunt. As you can see here, equilibrium's met. What happens? We have a stop hunt to then continue higher. Because people are trailing the stops, people are getting greedy, people want to be in the move or want to have the least amount of risk. So we have a stop hunt to then continue higher. Yeah, this kind of was a market maker model. Ended up playing out. Drawing liquidity was this original consolidation we had here. Ended up playing out, and then we ended up liquidating that up here within that candle. We look at the 5 minute CISD, bullish order block here. And then yeah, we end up getting bought up, and that's kind of the market maker model that I want to go over today. Other than that, anything else? Anything you guys saw that I didn't, or anything you guys want to go over as well? So right now, I just want to see, are we going to reject off of this? What's order flow going to be? We had a big imbalance here. This was kind of like news, so this is a big imbalance. You can kind of map out consequent encroachment of this gap. But I think that this probably will hold. I'm going to be pretty bullish going into tomorrow unless we show order flow that we want to be bearish. But this is an area in which we could reject. This is an area in which we could reject. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. Overnight's looking like it's going to be that 1 hour breaker. 1 hour breaker. Talking about this, I want to call that a breaker on it, or you have to screenshot it and send it in the Discord. But yeah, I'm looking at this 4 hour imbalance, 4 hour, and SMT at the high. So that's really what I'm looking at. Other than that, I really don't have anything else. I will catch you guys tomorrow for live trading, and I really do appreciate you guys. I'm sorry I didn't have the market maker model examples that I said I was gonna have. I'll have those this weekend if I'm able to. Like, I'm not gonna be able to do a chart review tomorrow, and then Saturday I'm moving, so I don't know. Like, tomorrow's live stream is the last day you'll see me in this setup. So just let y'all know. Hopefully y'all have a good one. Hopefully y'all traded well today, and I will see you.